Hi everyone, in this video we will learn about integers, rational numbers, real numbers, combined operation on integers and how to solve the equation involving fractions and decimals.
Positive numbers means the numbers that are greater than 0. And the negative numbers means the numbers that are less than 0. This is negative 20, while this one is 20. Which one is bigger, negative 20 or 20? Positive 20 is greater than negative 20. If a number has no sign, it usually means that it is a positive number. This is 5. It's really positive 5. In primary school, we have learned about whole numbers. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. What about numbers such as negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on? Together, these numbers are called integers. Positive integers are positive whole numbers, such as 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. While negative integers are numbers such as negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, and so on. 0 is neither a positive or a negative integer. Here is a number line. In some countries, the number line is drawn with an arrow at each end to indicate that the line goes on indefinitely in both directions. So over here, you can see that this is the starting point, the 0. On the right side, this is the positive integers, while the left side, this is the negative integers. 5 is more than 2, while 2 is less than 5. How about 2 and negative 5? 2 is more than negative 5, or 2 is greater than negative 5. How about negative 10 and negative 15? Negative 10 is greater than negative 15. Why? Because negative 10 is closer to 0. How about 7 and negative 5? 7 is greater than negative 5. And then this one, the symbol represents more than or equal to. And then this one represents less than or equal to. Absolute value means to think only about how far a number is from 0. For example, this is 0, here is 6, this is negative 6. 6 is 6 away from 0. But negative 6 is also 6 away from 0. So, the absolute value of 6 is 6. And the absolute value of negative 6 is also 6. Another example, calculate the absolute value of negative 8. Remember that the absolute value, we just take the number without taking the sign into account. In this case, by dropping the sign, we realize that the absolute value of negative 8 is 8. We can write it as the absolute value of negative 8 is 8. Next, calculate the absolute value of 4. The absolute value of 4 is 4. When you have a positive number and you combine it with a negative number of the same amount, it will equal 0. And this is called a zero pair. For example, this is positive 2 minus 2. Positive 2, negative 2. The answer is 0. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. How about negative 5 plus 5 equals 0. 5 minus 5 equals 0. Now, take a look to the table. If you meet your friend means you meet your friend which has the same sign or like sign. If you meet your friend, the result is positive. Friend means the same sign. Negative and negative becomes positive. But if you meet your enemy, means different sign or unlike signs. For example, positive and negative becomes negative. Negative and positive becomes negative. So just remember, if you meet your friend, two like signs become a positive sign. While if you meet your enemy, two unlike signs become a negative sign. So for example, over here, 2 plus, open parenthesis, negative 2, close parenthesis. So over here, this is the plus and minus, the positive and negative. So means that you meet your enemy. Why? Because different signs. So the result is negative 2. 2 minus 2 equals 0. How about this one? Negative 5 plus bracket negative 3. So over here, you meet your enemy. Why? Because this is different signs. So becomes negative 3. Negative 5 minus 3 equals negative 8. Addition and subtraction involving integers. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 6 minus 3 equals 3. Another example, 5 plus 4 equals 9. How about negative 5 minus 4 equals negative 9. Why? Because look, this is negative 5. And then you have another negative 4. So the total is negative 9. Next, this one, 6 minus 10. This is positive 6. And then here is negative 10. So 6 minus 10 equals negative 4. How about this one? Negative 6 minus negative 10. Look, you meet your friend. Why? Because have the same sign. You meet your friend, the result is positive. So the answer here, negative 6 plus 10 equals 4. And this one, 6 plus negative 10. You meet your enemy. Why? because different sign. So over here becomes negative 10. 6 minus 10 equals negative 4. So don't forget the rule. If you meet your friend, two like signs become a positive sign. If you meet your enemy, two unlike signs become a negative sign. So for example, 5 plus negative 2. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So 5 minus 2 equals 3. Next, 25 minus negative 4. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. The same sign, the result is positive. So positive 4. 25 plus 4 equals 29. Next, negative 6 plus negative 3. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. Over here becomes negative 3. Negative 6 minus 3 equals negative 9. Next, negative 6 minus 3. You have negative 6 and then you have another negative 3. So the total now is negative 9. Next, 5 plus 2 equals 7. 5 minus 2 equals 3. Negative 5 plus 2 equals negative 3. Negative 5 minus 2 equals negative 7. Negative 5 plus negative 2. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. If you meet your enemy, the result is negative 2. So negative 5 minus 2 equals negative 7. Negative 5 minus negative 2. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. So this becomes positive 2. Negative 5 plus 2 equals negative 3. 5 minus negative 2. You meet your friend. If you meet your friend, the result is positive 2. So 5 plus 2 equals 7. And this one, 5 plus negative 2. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So this is negative 2. 5 minus 2 equals 3. How to add or subtract integers having the like or same sign? So here is the step. First, take the absolute value of each number. The second, add the absolute values of the numbers. And the last, keep the same sign. Remember, having the like or the same sign. So 5 plus 6 equals 11. 2 plus 3 equals 5. 7 plus 10 equals 17. Negative 10 minus 3. Take the absolute value of each number. The absolute value of negative 10 is 10, while the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. Then add the absolute values of the numbers. 10 plus 3 is 13. And don't forget, keep the same sign. So the answer is negative 13. How about negative 4 minus 5? You have negative 4 and then you have another negative 5. So the total is negative 9. Negative 20 minus 30. You have negative 20 and you have another negative 30. So the total is negative 50. So subtracting a negative is the same as adding. Then how to add or subtract with unlike or different signs? Here's the step. First, take the absolute value of each number. Then copy the sign of the number with the bigger absolute value. And the last, find the difference between them. So for example, negative 15 plus 5. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. The absolute value of positive 5 is 5. Which one is bigger? 15. So you just copy the symbol or the sign. So the result over here must be negative. Then the difference between 15 and 5 is 10. So the answer is negative 10. Next, negative 5 plus 8. The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. The absolute value of positive 8 is 8. Which one is bigger, 5 or 8? 8 is bigger. So you just copy its sign, positive. What's the difference between 5 and 8? The difference between 5 and 8 is 3. So the answer is positive 3. Or you just write it as 3. Next, don't forget, if you meet your friend, means the same sign. The result is positive. But if you meet your enemy, different signs, the result is negative. So for example, 20 plus negative 15. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So over here, this is negative 15. 20 minus 15. The absolute value of 20 is 20. The absolute value of negative 15 is 15. Which one is bigger, 20 or 15? 20 is bigger. So the result is a positive number. So you just copy its sign, positive. Then the difference between 20 and 15 is 5. So the answer is positive 5. You just write it as 5. Next, negative 30 plus negative 50. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. The result is negative 50. Negative 30 minus 50. You have negative 30 and you have another negative 50. So the answer is negative 80. The temperature of a city on a particular night is negative 5 degrees Celsius. And the next morning, the temperature rises by 3 degrees Celsius. Find the temperature in the morning. So to solve the question is negative 5 plus 3. How to solve the question? The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. The absolute value of positive 3 is 3. Which one is bigger, 5 or 3? 5 is bigger. So just copy its sign, negative. What's the difference between 5 and 3? 2. So the answer is negative 2 degrees Celsius. Now, for the multiplication and division. Remember, if you meet your friend, the result is positive. Friend means the same sign. But if you meet your enemy, the result is negative. Enemy means different signs. So for example, 10 divided by 2. Positive 10 divided by positive 2. You meet your friend. The result is positive 5. We just write it as 5. 10 divided by negative 2. Positive 10 divided by negative 2. You meet your enemy. If you meet your enemy, the result is negative 5. Negative 10 divided by 2. This is negative divided by the positive number. You meet your enemy. So the result is negative 5. Negative 10 divided by negative 2. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. So the result is positive 5. Or you just write it as 5. 10 divided by negative 2. This is positive, this is negative. So you meet your enemy. If you meet your enemy, the result is negative 5. Positive 5 times negative 3. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So the result is negative 15. Negative 5 times positive 3. So you meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So the result is negative 15. 5 times negative 3. This is positive, this is negative. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So the result is negative 15. Negative 5 times negative 3. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. You meet your friend, so the result is positive 15. We just write it as 15. Negative 5 times negative 3. The result is positive 15. Why? Because you meet your friend. Then how about if you multiply 3 or more numbers together? So for example, negative 2 times negative 3 times negative 4. First, multiply negative 2 times negative 3. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. If you meet your friend, the result is positive 6. So 6 times negative 4. So now here, you meet your enemy. Why? Because different signs. So the result is negative 24. So always remember, if you meet your friend, the result is positive. But if you meet your enemy, the result is negative. Factors revisited. Positive and negative factors. So for example, the notations of plus minus is used to represent positive or negative in a concise manner. For example, plus minus 1 means positive 1 or negative 1. So for example over here, the positive and negative factors of 4 are how to make 4. To make 4 is 1 times 4, 2 times 2, 3 times 3 cannot, 4 times 1. 4 times 1 is the same as 1 times 4. So the factors of 4 are 1, 2, and 4. But the question is asking, find the positive and negative factors of 4. So the answer, negative 1, 1. Negative 2, 2. Negative 4, and 4. And we write it as plus minus 1 plus minus 2 and plus minus 4 in short. Square roots and cube roots. 5 squared means 5 times 5 equals 25. So the square root of 25 is 5. Why? Because what number times the same number equals to 25. So 5 times 5 equals 25. Then how about negative 5 squared? This means negative 5 times negative 5. This is negative, this is negative. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. If you meet your friend, the result is positive 25 or 25. Then, how to find the square root of 49? The square root of 49 is 7. Why? Because 7 times 7 is 49. So over here, the square root sign is used to denote the positive square root only. We can combine both the positive and negative square root by writing plus minus square root of 25 is equal to plus minus 5. Next, how about 5 cubed? 5 times 5 times 5. The answer is 125. The cube root of 125 is 5. Why? Because you must find the number times the same number times the same number. The result is 125. So the answer is 5 times 5 times 5 equals to 125. How about negative 5 cubed? This means negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5. So here you meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. If you meet your friend, the result is positive 25. Then positive 25 times negative 5. So over here, you meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So the result is negative 125. So over here, you can see that the cube root of 125 is 5. But the cube root of negative 125 is negative 5. So, unlike square roots, a number has only one cube root, and it is possible to obtain the cube root of a negative number. Combined operations on integers. First, solve the brackets. Evaluate expressions in brackets first. If there are more than one pair of brackets, evaluate the expression in the innermost pair of brackets first. Then, evaluate the powers and roots. Next, multiply and divide from the left to the right. And the last one, add and subtract. from the left to the right. So for example, evaluate 6 minus 7 plus 2 times, open bracket, 4 minus 3 squared, close bracket. Remember the rules. First, brackets. So you must solve 4 minus 3 squared. And then there is the power. 3 squared means 3 times 3 equals 9. So 4 minus 9 equals negative 5. Why negative 5? Take a look over here. 4 minus 9. This is positive 4. This is negative 9. The absolute value of positive 4 is 4. The absolute value of negative 9 is 9. Which one is greater, 4 or 9? 9 is greater. So you just copy its sign. So the result is negative. The difference between 4 and 9 is 5. So the answer is negative 5. And after that, you may copy the rest. 6 minus 7 plus 2 times negative 5. There is subtraction, addition, and multiplication. Remember the rules. Brackets, powers and roots, multiplication and division, then the last is addition and subtraction. So you must solve the multiplication. Positive 2 times negative 5. You meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. So the result is negative 10. Then 6 minus 7 minus 10. This is subtraction. This is subtraction. So you must work from the left to the right. 6 minus 7. Positive 6 minus 7. The absolute value of positive 6 is 6. The absolute value of negative 7 is 7. Which one is bigger? 7. So you just copy its sign. Negative. The difference between 6 and 7 is 1. So the answer is negative 1 minus 10. You have negative 1 and then you have another negative 10. So the answer is negative 11. Another example, negative 2 cubed minus 12 divided by, open bracket, 2 minus, open bracket, square root of 25 plus 3, close bracket. So over here, you can see that there are more than one pair of brackets. Evaluate the expression in the innermost pair of brackets first. So you must solve square root of 25 plus 3. The square root of 25 is 5. 5 plus 3 equals 8. And after that, 2 minus 8 equals negative 6. Why negative 6? 2 minus 8. Positive 2 minus 8. The absolute value of positive 2 is 2. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8. Which one is bigger? 8 is bigger. So you just copy its sign. And after that, the difference between 2 and 8 is 6. So the answer is negative 6. And after that, negative 2 cubed. Negative 2 cubed means negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 2. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. So the result is positive 4 times negative 2. And after that, you meet your enemy. 'Why you meet your enemy? Because different sign. You meet your enemy, the result is negative 8. So negative 8 minus 12 divided by negative 6. There is subtraction, there is division. Remember the rules: brackets, powers and roots, multiplication and division, and the last is addition and subtraction. So you must solve the division. Negative 12 divided by negative 6. You meet your friend. Why? Because the same sign. So the answer is positive 2. Negative 8 plus 2 equals negative 6. Why negative 6? Take a look over here. Negative 8 plus 2. The absolute value of negative 8 is 8. The absolute value of positive 2 is 2. Which one is bigger? 8. So just copy its sign. So the answer is negative. The difference between 8 and 2 is 6. So the final answer is negative 6. Then here is about fractions and mixed numbers. For example, 1, 7 out of 15 times 2, 3 out of 11. So first, you must convert the mixed number into improper fraction. So 1 times 15 plus 7 equals 22 out of 15 times 2 times 11 plus 3. The answer is 25 out of 11. And after that, you may cross multiply between 25 and 15. Divided by 5, this is 5, over here is 3. And then 22 and 11. Divided by 11. This is 2, this is 1. So the answer is 2 times 5 is 10. And 3 times 1 is 3. You may convert it into mixed number. So 10 divided by 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 10 minus 9, remainder 1. So the answer is 3, 1 out of 3. Next, how about division? Remember to convert a whole number into fraction. For example, 5. Convert 5 into a fraction. So 5 out of 1. How about 3? So 3 out of 1. Why? Because 3 out of 1 means 3 divided by 1. 3 divided by 1 equals 3. So this one, 2 out of 5 divided by 3. So 2 out of 5 divided by 3 out of 1. Keep the first fraction, then change its sign into multiplication and flip the second fraction, 1 out of 3. So the answer is 2 out of 15. And this one, 4 out of 5 divided by 2 out of 3. Keep, change, flip. 4 times 3 is 12. 5 times 2 is 10. This is an improper fraction. So you must convert it into a mixed number. So 12 divided by 10. 1. 10 times 1 is 10. So 12 minus 10 equals 2. So the answer is 1, 2 out of 10. Don't forget, reduce if possible. So the final answer is 1, 1 out of 5. Next, without using a calculator, evaluate each of the following. For example, 2 3/4 times 2 out of 11. You must convert it into improper fraction. 2 times 4 plus 3 equals 11 out of 4 times 2 out of 11. Then you may cancel the top and the bottom number over here. 11 divided by 11 is 1. And after that, this one divided by 2. This is 1. This is 2. So 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So the answer is 1 out of 2. And then the second, 2 out of 9 divided by 5 out of 3. 2 times 9 plus 2 equals 20 out of 9 divided by 5 out of 3. Remember, keep, change, flip. So you may cancel the top and the bottom number, 20 and 5 divided by 5. This is 4, this is 1. And then this one divided by 3. This is 1, this is 3. So the answer is 4 out of 3. 4 out of 3 means 4 divided by 3. 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 4 minus 3, remainder 1. So the final answer is 1 out of 3. Next, how about this one? Without using a calculator, find the value of each of the following. 3 2/3 divided by negative 2, 4 out of 9. 3 times 3 plus 2. So 11 out of 3 divided by negative 2 times 9 plus 4 equals negative 22 out of 9. Keep, change, flip. You may cancel the top and the bottom number. So 9 and 3 divided by 3. This is 3, this is 1. And this one divided by 11. This is 1, this is 2. So 1 times negative 3 is negative 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Or you may write it as negative 3 out of 2. 3 divided by 2. 2 times 1 is 2. Remainder 1. So the answer is negative 1 out of 2. Then how about question B? Negative 2 4 out of 5 times, open bracket, negative 5 out of 2 plus, open bracket, negative 1.5 squared, close bracket. So to solve the question here, you must solve the bracket, the innermost bracket. So 1 times 2 plus 1 is negative 3 out of 2 squared. Negative 3 out of 2 times negative 3 out of 2. You meet your friend. So the result is positive 9 out of 4. And after that, negative 5 out of 2 plus 9 out of 4. This is addition involving fraction, so don't forget you must convert it into like fraction. So the bottom number must be the same. We make it into 4. 2 times how many equals to 4? 2 times 2. Do the same to the top number. So negative 5 times 2 equals negative 10 out of 4 plus 9 out of 4. So the answer here is negative 1 out of 4. And after that, negative 2 times 5 plus 4. So the answer is negative 14 out of 5 times negative 1 out of 4. You may cancel the top and the bottom number, divide it by 2. Over here, this is 2, this is 7. This is negative, this is negative. So means you meet your friends. If you meet your friend, the result is positive. 7 times 1 is 7. 5 times 2 is 10. So the answer is 7 out of 10. Before we learn how to add and subtract decimals, let's review. For example, negative 5 minus 2. You have negative 5 and you have another negative 2. So the answer is negative 7. So remember, subtracting a negative is the same as adding. How about negative 5 plus 2? The absolute value of negative 5 is 5. The absolute value of positive 2 is 2. Which one is bigger, 5 or 2? 5 is bigger. Then you copy its sign. So the answer is negative. Then the difference between 5 and 2 is 3. So negative 5 plus 2 is negative 3. And how about 5 minus 2? The absolute value of positive 5 is 5. The absolute value of negative 2 is 2. Which one is bigger? 5. So you copy its sign. The answer is positive. Then the difference between 5 and 2 is 3. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Now, without using a calculator, evaluate the following. Negative 97.5 minus 8.743. Remember, subtracting a negative is the same as adding. So, 97.5 plus 8.743. So over here, don't forget, you must arrange the number based on its place value. This is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000, and many more. And then over here, this is the decimal point. After ones is tenth, then hundred, and so on. So if this one is 97.5, and then this is 8.743. 8 is in ones place. Then 7, 4, 3. Next, let's count. So 97.5, it has one decimal place, while 8.743, it has 3 decimal places. Put 2 zeros here so that the two numbers have the same number of decimal places. 0 plus 3, 3. 0 plus 4 is 4. 5 plus 7 is 12. Then you regroup. 1 plus 7 plus 8 is 16. Then regroup. 1 plus 9 is 10. Don't forget, put the decimal place. So the answer is negative 106.243. Next, 7.2 minus 17. The absolute value of positive 7.2 is 7.2. Then the absolute value of negative 17 is 17. Which one is bigger? 17. Then you copy its sign. So the answer is negative. Then find the difference between 7.2 and 17. Put the greater number here. Then followed with the smaller number. 17 minus 7.2. Then put the 0 here so that the two numbers have the same number of decimal places. Because we cannot take away 2 from 0, so you must regroup. 10 minus 2 is 8. 6 minus 7. Cannot, right? You cannot take away 7 from 6. So that you must regroup from tens. So now here you have 16 ones. 16 ones minus 7 ones is 9 ones. So the answer is negative 9.8. Then this one, negative 7.5 plus 2.345. The absolute value of negative 7.5 is 7.5. And then the absolute value of positive 2.345 is 2.345. Which one is bigger? 7.5. Then copy its sign. So the answer is negative. Then find the difference between 7.5 and 2.345. Let's count. 7.5 minus 2.345. Put 2 zeros here. We cannot take away 5 from 0. If you regroup from here, this is 0, cannot, right? So you must regroup from 5. Then you give it here. Then give it again. 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. 4 minus 3 is 1. 7 minus 2 is 5. So the answer is negative 5.155. Multiplying and dividing decimals. For example, without using a calculator, evaluate the following: 12.34 times 5.6. So over here, you may convert the decimals into fraction. So 1, 2, 3, 4 out of, how many decimal places are there? 1, 2. So out of 100. Why 100? Because there are 2 decimal places. Times 56 out of 10. Why out of 10? Because 1 decimal place in 5.6. Then after that, 1234 times 56 is 69,104 out of 1,000. So 69,104 divided by 1,000. So you must move the decimal place to the left side. How many times? 3 times. Why? Because there are 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 69.104. The second is with the long multiplication. So 12.34 times 5.6. Then we multiply one by one. Look over here. In 12.34, this is 2 decimal places, while in 5.6, this is 1 decimal place. So 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. Done. Then we go to 5. 5 times 4 is 20. You write 5 here. So you must skip one digit. Then you write here 20. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2, 17. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1, 11. 5 times 1 plus 1, 6. 4, 0, 11, 9, and 6. How many decimal places are there? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then put the decimal places here. Next, without using a calculator, find the value of 0.72 divided by 0.3. 0.72 means 72 out of 100. Why out of 100? Because there are 2 decimal places, 2 zeros. And after that, divided by 0.3. You may convert it to fraction. So this is 3 out of 10. Why out of 10? Because there is 1 decimal place. Don't forget, keep, change, flip the second fraction. Then you may cancel the 10 with 100 divided by 10. And after that, 72 times 1 is 72. 10 times 3 is 30. Then you may simplify. 72 divided by 30. 30 times 2 is 60. Remainder 12. So the answer is 2, 12 out of 30. Then simplify. Divided by 6. 2 out of 5. Then if you want to convert it to decimal, so 72 out of 30. 30 times 2 is 60. 72 minus 60 is 12. And after that, put the 0 here because you cannot divide 12 with 30, right? Then put the decimal point here. So 30 times 4 is 120. So the answer is 2 out of 5 or 2.4. So this is the first method. Then how about the second? The other way is this one. 0.72 divided by 0.3. You may convert it to a fraction. So 0.72 out of 0.3. Then you multiply each of them with 10. 0.72 times 10. There is only one zero. So you move the decimal place one step to the right. So the answer is 7.2. Next, 0.3 times 10. How many zero are there in 10? Only one zero. So you move the decimal place to the right one step. So the answer is 3. So over here, 7.2 divided by 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. Then align the decimal point here. Then drop the digit 2. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the answer is 2.4. Next, here is the third method. The question is 0.72 divided by 0.3. You may convert it to a fraction. So 0.72 out of 0.3. Move the decimal place one step to the right. Do the same, one step to the right. So over here, this is 7.2 out of 3. This means 7.2 divided by 3. The answer is 2.4. Now we will learn how to solve the question with 3 different methods. So for example, here, move the decimal place one step to the right. So this is 1.8 out of 3 times negative 4.7 out of 12. You may cancel 1.8 with 3. If 18 divided by 3 is 6. So 1.8 divided by 3 is 0.6. Next, cancel 0.6 and 12. We divide it by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. How about 0.6 divided by 6? If 6 divided by 6 is 1, so 0.6 divided by 6 is 0.1. So that 0.1 times negative 4.7. 0.1, this is 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10 times negative 4.7. So this means negative 4.7 divided by 10. Look, negative 4.7 divided by 10. How many zeros are there in 10? Only one zero. So you move the decimal place one step to the left. So the answer is negative 0.7. 0.47. Negative 0.47 out of 2. Then let's count here. 0.47 divided by 2. 0 divided by 2 cannot write. This is the decimal place, so you write over here 0. Then 4 divided by 2 is 2. 4 times 2 is 4. Then drop the digit 7. 7 divided by 2, this is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. 1 divided by 2 cannot write. Put the 0 here. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. So the answer is negative 0.235. Don't forget, put the negative. Remember over here, this is the positive number, this is the negative number. This is you meet your enemy. Why? Because different sign. If you meet your enemy, the result is negative. So the answer is negative 0.235. The second way is this one. Move the decimal place one step to the right, only for the first fraction. So this is 1.8 out of 3 times negative 4.7 out of 1.2. Then you will cancel between 1.8 and 1.2. So over here, you may move the decimal place one step to the right, so that this becomes 18. And then this one becomes 12. Divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 is 2. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Then you may cancel this one, the top and the bottom number, 3 and 3, each divided by 3. So now here, 1 times negative 0.47 is negative 0.47 out of 1 times 2 is 2. We already got the answer before. So this is the negative, this is the positive number. Means that you meet your enemy. If you meet your enemy, the result is negative 0.235. Next, here is the third method. You may count each of the fraction. So 0.18 divided by 0.3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. So the answer is 0.6. And then you may count negative 0.47 divided by 1.2. The answer is negative 0.3916 4 times and 7 if you are using the calculator. So now here, this is the positive number, this is the negative number. So it means that you meet your enemy. If you meet your enemy, the result is negative 0.235.
Here is another question. Negative 2.3 times, open bracket, negative 5.7 plus negative 2.31, close bracket. So now here, remember, we must solve the brackets, powers and roots. Next, the multiplication and division, and the last one is addition and subtraction. So, we do negative 5.7 plus negative 2.31. Look over here. Plus and minus. Positive and negative. So means you meet your enemy. So the result is negative 2.31. So negative 5.7 minus 2.31 is equal to negative 8.01. And after that, negative 2.3 times negative 8.01. This is negative, this is negative. Same sign. So you meet your friend. If you meet your friend, the result is positive. So now let's count. Put the greater number on the top. So 8.01 times 2.3. 3 times 1, 3. 3 times 0, 0. 3 times 8, 24. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 8 is 16. 3. 0 plus 2 is 2. 4 plus 0 is 4. 2 plus 6 is 8. And 1. 1, 2, 3. So there are 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3. So the answer is positive 18.423. We just write the answer as 18.423.
Rational and irrational numbers. A rational number is a number that can be expressed as the ratio of two integers a and b. A out of b, where b is not equal to 0. Examples are 2, 1 out of 3, negative 5, 1 out of 8, and negative 1.6. Irrational numbers are numbers that cannot be expressed in the form a out of b, where a and b are integers and b is not equal to 0. So for example, square root of 7 and the cube root of 5. And this one, the example of improper fractions which include integers. 6 out of 3. And an example of irrational fractions is square root of 7 out of 2. Real numbers are made up of rational numbers and irrational numbers. Rational numbers are made up of integers and non-integer rational numbers. Integers are made up of whole numbers and negative integers. Whole numbers are made up of positive integers and 0. Example of irrational numbers are square root of 7 and then the cube root of negative 5. The example of non-integer rational numbers are 1 out of 3 and negative 5, 1 out of 8. The example of negative integers are negative 4 and negative 7. The example of positive integers are 2 and 8. Real numbers are numbers that can be represented by values on the number line. It consists of terminating decimals, recurring or repeating decimals, non-terminating and non-recurring decimals. Rational numbers are terminating decimals or recurring decimals. And irrational numbers are non-terminating and non-recurring decimals. So example of non-terminating and non-recurring decimals are square root of 2 and then the cube root of negative 5 and 5. The example of terminating decimals are 2, negative 4.7, negative 3, 1 out of 8, and 9 out of 4. Let's check why 9 out of 4 is terminating decimals. Let's count. So 9 divided by 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 9 minus 8 is 1. 1 divided by 4 cannot, right? You put the 0, then put the decimal place here. 10 divided by 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. 2 divided by 4 cannot. So put the 0 here. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So this is the answer, 2.25. This is terminating decimals. Then for the recurring decimals, for example, 0.33333. You can write it as 0.3 and put a dot here above 3. And then negative 123 out of 99. Let's check, for example, 123 divided by 99. The answer is negative 1.242424 and so on.
That's all from me. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.